Good evening, friends. Welcome to Sahakar Sutra. I am Dayanand Nene. Today I am particularly very happy to welcome you all in this episode because this episode is the 50th episode of Sahakar Sutra dealing to matters pertaining to cooperative housing societies. In these 50 episodes, friends, we have tried to cover many vital subjects and topics pertaining to the management and functioning of the cooperative housing societies, and we have also tried to answer questions which we receive from our viewers, and that is the thing which I am going to do today also. In this particular episode, I am going to answer 5 selected questions from our viewers. Friends, the first question is from Pratik from Villeparle. He is asking me as to whether it is mandatory that people staying on the ground floors should share the lift maintenance charges with other members of the society. Pratik, the answer is yes. Bylaw number 71A/5 states that irrespective of the floor which you live on, irrespective of whether a member of the society is using the lift or not, all members of the society shall share the lift maintenance charges equally amongst themselves. So, the lift maintenance charges have to be shared by people staying on the ground floors also. The second query is regarding terrace leakages from Vinaya staying in Mulund. She is asking, or rather complaining, that her society is refusing to either do the repair work on the terraces from where water is leaking into a flat, nor letting her do the work herself. So what should be done? Vinaya, as per bylaw number 160, it is the responsibility of a cooperative housing society to repair leakages from the terraces into the top floor flats of buildings. If there is a heavy leakage, the member staying on the top floor has to write to the secretary informing him about that particular leakage problem, and within 15 days the secretary has to put the subject in front of the managing committee and take a decision, work out a plan of repairs and inform the member. If the member feels that the society is not responding, or in reality the society doesn't respond to his complaint, say for a reasonable period of time, that is a month, then such members can write to the society again, giving them a notice of 15 days, that if in those 15 days the society doesn't initiate action of repairs of terraces, then the members on their own shall take up the responsibility and repair that particular damaged portion of the terrace, and then later on the society shall reimburse that particular member the expenses incurred. The next question is from Prashant from Dadar. He is asking why are the minutes so important in a cooperative housing society? Prashant, the minutes of meeting, it may be a general body meeting, or it may be a special general body meeting, or it may be the managing committee meeting. The minutes are a minute by minute factual recording of what is happening in that particular meeting. It is documentation of what a particular thing has happened, how a particular thing has happened, when a particular decision has been taken, and who all were involved in it. What resolutions were passed, who moved the resolution, who was the proposer, who was the seconder, whether it was passed unanimously or whether there was a division, then how many people voted for how many people voted against. All these things are recorded in the minutes of the society. It is mandatory that the society management finalize a draft minutes of the annual general meeting within 3 months of the meeting happening and circulate the draft amongst members and ask them for their comments and observations within 15 days, and later on table those observations and finalize the AGM meetings in the managing committee meeting. The next question pertaining is regarding non-occupancy charges by Vishwanathan from Thane. He is asking whether a society managing committee can recover non-occupancy charges from family members of a person who is not staying in that particular flat. Vishwanathan, the bylaws state that if he is a family member, that is, if he is a mother, father, sister, brother, daughter, son-in-law, brother-in-law, daughter-in-law, grandson, granddaughter, or any such close relation of the person whose the flat is, and if they are staying in his absence in that particular flat, the society management cannot recover non-occupancy charges from them. The final question here is regarding illegal construction and illegal alterations. It could be the society management committee or it could be the members of the society. All are human beings and all are prone to carrying illegal construction and illegal alterations. It could be the office of the society or it could be the flats of the members. The managing committee may seek to illegally extend the office of the society or try to build an illegal floor above the office. It could be a member who would break ducts and try to encroach upon the free land which doesn't belong to him. He could merge 2 rooms or merge 2 flats without taking proper permission from the authorities. It is mandatory that every member, if he wants to do any alterations in his flat, he has to seek the society's and the corporation's permissions. And it is mandatory for the society to send a notice to such erring members who do not take permission and do illegal alterations or illegal constructions. The society should give him a notice, and if the member doesn't respond to the notice, the society management should inform the relevant municipal corporation to take relevant action against such members. So much for today. After this 50th episode, friends, we shall continue our endeavor to provide information to all our viewers on various matters. Very soon we shall be talking about lift repairs which old buildings nowadays undertake, and the repairs and maintenance work done to old buildings, repair and renovation work done or undertaken by old buildings, and what are the legal provisions regarding that. Till such time, thank you very much.